BS Podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Sofia, and we're coming to you live from the
757.
Good morning, Bryan.
Hey, good morning, Sophia. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's
Tired.
good. You said what?
I'm tired.
You're tired?
Tired.
Tired.
There you go.
Yeah, that's that. That's that Sophia from The Color Purple. Tired.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, tired.
You and me are never part. My feet are... You remember that song?
Come on, man. Of course. Wow.
So what you been up to? Or at least tell the people what we've been up to.
Yeah. So this past weekend was New Year's. So obviously now it's the first episode, first podcast we're doing in 2023.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone out there listening. But yeah, just been kind of kicking the year off, with the right foot. A lot of times everybody has these New Year resolutions on things that they want to do, things that they want to change in the upcoming year. Kind of gives a lot of folks the opportunity to reset, refocus. So, I kind of feel that same type of mojo. I really don't do New Year resolution. I kind of have goals and things I want to accomplish, and I really just make sure that I'm daily putting myself in position to be able to do those things. So,
what's the difference between a resolution and a goal? The word?
No, I guess I look at resolutions as like, to me, resolutions are things that people always, it's like a cycle. They always are saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that. It's never really happens. I could be wrong, but that's normally how the resolutions I hear out there are always things that people don't accomplish. But goals to me
like
are
a wish.
Yeah, there you go, like a wish, kind of like something that's like, I want to do this. Like my New Year's resolution is I'm gonna be this. Like I'm gonna change this or whatever. But that's not like an actual obtainable goal. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I have to look that up.
I know you always try to fact check. I feel like you be trying to just like.
Like
anything I say,
no.
anything I say, you just
curious.
be like trying to make sure I'm like, okay, you know what?
No.
I don't believe what that guy's saying, so I'm gonna find out.
That's not the case.
The right, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not defining it correctly.
No.
Good,
I just asked what was the difference because you said it was a difference. So I'm like,
in my eyes, there's a difference.
Okay.
Do you view it a difference at all? They're the same to you.
I've never thought about it. Like,
okay. All right. Cool.
I just figure, people just say it differently.
Okay.
Some people say goals, some people say resolution.
So that means you don't think there's a difference then?
I don't know if there's a difference. I can't factually say that there is.
But I'm asking your opinion, though. I'm not saying the fact. I'm asking your opinion.
I really just don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But
yeah,
we definitely got goals coming up for 2023.
Yeah, definitely got some big goals coming into the year. New Year's is this past. Well, normally I try to stay up, and watch the whole ball drop and all of that. So this year actually was a pretty cool time where my assistant on New Year's Eve, for her boyfriend, they just had a young child that was born a couple months ago now. And so they had like a surprise birthday party for him at a place not too far from our house. So we brought the kids there. So that was pretty cool earlier in the day. And then my neighbor, him and his wife, they had like a New Year's Eve for the kids, which I thought was a really dope concept, where they had like in their playroom, they had like balloons and like a photo booth, and like all the kids came over to their house, obviously with the adults as well. And so we were kind of downstairs just kicking it. But the kids were upstairs, and at 8:15 was the ball drop for them. So they had like a countdown, 10, 9, 8, and all that. And then the lights, they was flicking on the lights, and they had shot out like these different stuff inside the house. So it was cool. Sloan and both my kids had a great time. They still talk about it, almost a week later. So that was cool. And then we kind of, after that, went home. And the kids, they were tired, so they went to sleep. And then Brooke and I tried to stay up and watch the ball drop, and I fell asleep. I was tired. I was exhausted for all the different things that we did that day. And Brooke, she woke me up at like 11:55, like, hey, wake up. It was about to happen or whatever. So I watched the ball drop, and I went right back to sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was basically my New Year's in a nutshell. What I did do is, I like to cook on the grill, so that's kind of one of my favorite pastimes. So I was sitting there thinking like, hey, I know the weather that weekend was actually really, really good. It was like in the mid 60s. It was pretty warm for this time of the year.
It was just 70 degrees.
Yeah, the other day.
Yeah.
So
in January.
Yeah, which is wild when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I ain't haven't had that since I lived in Florida. Ooh.
There you go. Always gotta mention Florida. Oh man, but yeah. So this year I told myself I wanted to cook something different. You know, I normally cook like steak or wings or something like that on the grill. But this year I made a brisket, and it was cool. I mean, I got it from Whole Foods. I think it was Friday, so the day before New Year's Eve, and I smoked it for about 12 hours. It came out good. I had folks that came over actually on New Year's Day. Mm-hmm. One of my buddies, Lewis, that I've mentioned him a couple of times. Him and his wife and family was in town, so they came by. A couple other people from the neighborhood. My mother came by. So it was cool. Like everybody came by, you know, and tried it. They liked it. I did have a critique for myself. I did keep it because of how long I smoked it. I should have smoked it more like 10, 11 hours versus 12 hours. So it was a little bit more firmer than what I normally like my brisket to be. But all in all, I mean, everyone really enjoyed it thoroughly, and I even had some sauce that I got as well that a lot of people enjoyed that as well, you know. So, but yeah, New Year's was cool. What about you? How was your New Year's?
Oh, I went to sleep. All I know is that day, we took down our tree either that Friday or that Saturday. I think it was that Friday.
Okay.
We went ahead and took all the trees because we always have 2 trees. So we took down the trees, took down the decorations and everything. So that was done. And I always try to do that before the new year begins.
Interesting.
Yep. And then once I got that down, the day of New Year's Eve, we pretty much just sat around the house watching TV, doing, you know, practically nothing for real.
Okay.
Because what was it raining that day? Was it something about the weather that day where it was
on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, yeah. New Year's Eve it rained earlier in the day. Yeah.
So we really didn't. We couldn't go outside. I don't remember us being able to go outside. So we stayed inside. And then as the day progressed, I just kept getting tired. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it till midnight. And then I remember going upstairs to my room like around 10:45 thinking I was going to watch, you know, a little bit of the show that I've been watching, a couple of episodes or so. But no, my daughter said I didn't make it. She said she came in the room around 11:50 and I was like, sleep. And so we didn't even, and it was me and the other 2 kids. So the only one who stayed up was my teenager, and she was like on the phone with her friends and stuff like that. And I did buy them some like sparkling grape juice.
Okay.
That you could put in the wine glasses.
Yeah. My kids had that too.
We didn't even touch it until the next. Well, she touched her one bottle, and then the rest of us, we didn't even do anything with it because I don't really drink champagne or wine for real. So I didn't have any of it, but my 2 little kids did.
They did, yeah. It's funny. That's what they were. Like I said, at my buddy's house when they had the kids celebration, they were popping the sparkling grape juice cider, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, different. Yeah. So it was funny. Like the kids, like they had glasses on. They were just kind of like it was just cool to kind of see them like in that element, have a good time, man. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, yep, that's all I did, and I think I went and because my daughter's birthday was yesterday. So I think I did go and, like, reserve, like, her area. Maybe on the 1st or 2nd or something like that. I can't even remember. It's a blur.
What'd y'all do? You said reserve her area. What do you mean?
We went to Cutlass Grill.
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite.
For her birthday last
places.
night.
Yeah.
We had, like, the private room off to the side. Mm-hmm. And she got a chance to invite, like, 7 or 8 of her friends. Okay. And the parents could have stayed, but only like 2 or 3 parents stayed. And then my family. So we all ate dinner together, took pictures, had fun. And then the girls got to, you know, like mess around, play around, take pictures. And then we all just went home. Okay. So that was her birthday celebration.
That's cool, man. How old did she turn?
She turned 14.
14. Dang. That's crazy, man. I remember... What you say?
I got a 14-year-old.
Yeah, you up there. You up there.
A 14-year-old, and I got a 4-year-old, almost 4-year-old, who turns 4 next month in February.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Like you said, I mean, I remember me at 14, myself at 14. So to have a child that's actually turning that age, I mean, that has to kind of bring things full circle for you, I would imagine. She told me, she was like, can I drive today? I was like, no. She was like, this is the first thing I told you. Didn't let her drive on her birthday?
No.
Why not?
Because I didn't want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you.
I didn't feel like, my heart coming to my chest on that day,
Yeah. Do you
scares
feel
me.
as she's getting older? Do you feel that she possesses a lot of the same characteristics that you have as you're as you are, like, or maybe were you as you were at that age at all? Maybe by any
No,
like similarities.
kinda. I mean, not really. We have different personalities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm very straightforward and blunt.
Mm-hmm.
She's very reserved.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know what other word to use for her, but she doesn't speak her mind too much, and I speak my mind too much. So, but as far as like being smart, focus on school, playing sports, yeah, we have those characteristics that are.
So she has those, but you didn't have those. Is that what you're saying?
Which part?
The sports and smarts and all that. I'm saying, like, I don't know.
I played sports and I was smart.
Oh, okay, was past tense.
I don't think I could be a dummy doing this job.
Oh, hey, shit, I would be. Look,
hey, I don't know. I could be ignorant, but I don't know about dumb.
Oh no,
dumb?
Oh, yeah,
dumb.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can. I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I'm messing with you, man. So that's cool. That's cool, man.
And I'm thinking about going to skating tonight. My cousin is coming in town. He hit me up and was like, "Hey, we're gonna come down Friday or Saturday morning. So if they come down tonight, then we'll probably get out, do something. Maybe go bowling or go skating or something like that."
Okay.
And continue a little bit of celebration. And then it was funny because I didn't give my daughter like a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, her gift was the birthday dinner, and then what I did buy her, however, was we did like I don't even know what's called, like a tournament or something like that for volleyball that started on the 4th of January.
Okay.
At the Virginia Beach Fieldhouse. So she came home from school on the 4th, and I told her, I was like, go put your volleyball stuff on. She looked at me and was like, why would I do that? I don't have anything going on with volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, wait, what do you mean? Like, am I playing? I was like, yeah, we finna go right now. She was like, what? And she was so excited about it. So we started volleyball, and we have a game this Sunday.
That's cool. So hold on. You said so it's a different league. You said the field house.
It's at the
I remember
field
she was
house.
just in a league. I remember recently, right? In a league, she was doing volleyball.
Yeah, that ended top of December or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's
so
up.
she had a few weeks off, of course, going into the holidays. Now I did sign her up for the Nike volleyball camp that was supposed to be during Christmas break,
Mm-hmm.
but they said that they didn't have a lot of people sign up for it because it was kind of expensive.
Gotcha. Yeah, especially in the holidays, it's probably tough to kind of.
Exactly. So they ended up canceling it and refunding us our money. So she didn't get a chance to play at all during the Christmas break.
Okay.
So then I signed her up for this, and this is like, it says 14 games, but the season ends in February, so I don't know how that's going to work, and they only have a game a week. So I'm kind of confused on that. But
maybe they'll do multiple games in a day.
Or maybe they included, like, games in the practices in the 14. So that could be.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
maybe
it could be 7
games,
weeks.
7 practices.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then her real volleyball season starts, like, February, March.
Okay, so this will get her right to get ready for it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's 3 strokes. She played in the league that she was in, then she's now in the
played
league.
AAU in the summer.
Okay, so even back further. AAU in the summer, then she just did a league recently. You said it ended in December. Then she's starting in the league now, and then her school league starts in March.
Yep.
Oh,
and
that's
she
cool.
Played the school
that's basically
league
year
last
round.
year. Almost.
Yeah, that's almost year round. That's crazy. That's what's up.
She wants to do travel, but I just don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
With the other 2 kids.
Yeah, that demand is tough. I remember playing travel baseball when I was a kid. I did that for like just the one season. Like I didn't even get to complete a season, but it was a lot because my mom had just recently had my younger sister, and my dad, like I said, he was gone all the time.
Exactly.
Kind of similar situation with you in the military.
Exactly. Yep.
He was gone all the time, so it was just like, it was too much.
And I got 2 other kids.
Yeah, that's what I said. You got more.
2 different like age groups.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Some different demands for what they got going.
Correct.
So, I feel you on that one.
So traveling with them, no.
Yeah.
Have somebody else do it.
Nah, I feel you.
So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna travel. Not right now.
I got you.
Yeah.
So basically, it sounds like this week was mainly about the your oldest daughter and her celebration of her birthday for the most part, right?
Correct. Now, our manager, he had his birthday celebration this week that we attended, but But his actual birthday is today.
Today, yeah. I'm gonna make sure I show him some love today.
Yeah.
He's my guy. He's funny, man.
He is.
He's old school, for real. You know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah, that's my guy. But yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. My let me see. My week this week was pretty busy work wise. I had a couple of closings. You know, a couple of people already closing on their new home, so. You know, especially excited for those folks there. Got a closing today with I would consider a good work friend. Her and her husband are closing on a new home today, so I'm gonna pop up on them and say congratulations to them. So definitely looking forward to that. My buddy, you know, I think I mentioned this on a previous episode where I have a particular vehicle that's getting made that I've been waiting for actually over a year now. It was supposed to initially be
Better than me.
better than you, yeah. It's supposed to initially be here in July of 2022. Didn't happen, and they got pushed to the fall. Then they got pushed to by the end of the year, and then a whole bunch of other bull crap happened. And so my buddy, he actually put in around the same time. So his came in this week, and so it looks good, man. I ain't gonna lie, like that actually gave me a little bit more life to wait. You know, just because of how good it looked. Because actually, I think that he picked it up on like Tuesday or Wednesday, and he stopped by my house and showed it to me and everything. And I'm like, okay, this is mine should now be here in April is what I'm hearing. So I gotta wait.
2024, right?
Yeah, 2023. Yeah. Oh, you trying to be funny? 2024. Hey, at this rate, look, that's exactly look. Hey, look, they don't give it this vehicle by April 2023, man. I'm buying something else. I'm putting my foot down. But they got me kind of by my balls right now because it's like, I mean, that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just kind of like I got to wait on it. You know what I mean? It's nothing. I can go settle, but the amount of money the vehicle costs is like, that's something that my mom instilled in me when I was young. She's like, Bryan, never settle. Never settle. Like, no matter what it is, no matter how big or how little, if you know what you want, don't settle on anything less than what you want. So I've always stick with me, man. So it's tough though. It's tough. I ain't gonna lie. I've had some times where I'm like, let me look at something else, but I know at the end of the day, it's not gonna be what I want. So so that was cool. I'm happy for my buddy. When it comes to that. So that's dope.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So other than that, like I said, this week's been good. It went by fast. Like I said, New Year's kicking off. I'm excited. Got some plans as we mentioned on the last podcast. Some home buying seminars, some things brewing. A lot of activity. A lot of people are out here trying to, make some things happen. So I'm just excited to be a part of it all.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So yesterday, what did you do yesterday? You did something where you didn't attend our morning, because we have a morning meeting every day at 9:30, and he canceled.
Yeah. So
didn't you go out of town or something like that?
Yeah, quick day trip. So yesterday I went down to the Outer Banks. So we have a house in the Outer Banks, our beach home that we got a couple of years ago. And this time of the year is typically where we winterize the home. We kind of take inventory of things that may be needed or things that we want to get rid of, and even some repairs or things like that may need to be, to be fixed. So the property management company that manages the property for us, they do this themselves as well. So they'll send a person out and take inventory of stuff. But you know how it is when people ain't going to look at it from the lens of your own,
owner,
right? Yeah. They're kind of just going to do the bare minimum, look around or whatever. But yeah, they're not going to look at it from the standpoint of how we would. So my kids are still out of school from the Christmas break.
Do they go back soon?
They're supposed to go back
Monday.
On Monday. So what happened?
So Monday, like in 3 days, Monday.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So, but the thing is, they're going to be they have portables at the school as well. They're going to be in the portables for like, I think another week because they're still repairing the
school itself.
Yeah, the school because of the pipe that bursted over the holiday. So, but they were like, they wanted to at least still get the kids there, even though it's going to be in a portable, but the weather's been good and they have it, it's ace. They have the heat and cooling and everything in the portables or whatever. But yeah, so we went down there to the Outer Banks, looked at our beach home. Everything looks pretty good. There's a couple things we want to change, a couple things we want to paint. Brooke had bought some pillows that she wanted to change out. Some of the pillows that have been that's at the house are getting a little older. She wanted to kind of spruce it up a little bit. I was a contractor that was working there fixing some of our deck boards that needed to be replaced. So we were kind of talking to them about a couple of things as well that we pointed out, and then we sent the list to the property management company. So that was pretty cool. You know, like I said, I mean, this time of the year, just kind of getting everything in ready for the season that starts normally here around March, April timeframe. We ate lunch down there. The kids loved it. You know, and they was knocked out on the way back home. They both was snoring in the back, you know. So I was able to really accomplish what we set out to do yesterday. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. The repairs on my one of my duplex units is wrapping up. I think the countertops will be installed in the next 5 days or so.
Okay.
The painter's going to be wrapping up with the painting this weekend.
Okay.
So hopefully we can get somebody in there by the end of the month.
There we go. There we go. That's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that that's coming along, man. That's cool. That's cool. I know how that can be. So that's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's what we did for the last week. So, again, Happy New Year's. Now we're going into the segment of Exercise Your Knowledge. So if you're a first-time listener, what we do during this segment is we ask a mortgage-related question, and we want you guys to see if you know the answer to it. See if that's something that you can just pull right off the top of your head. If you don't worry, because we will reveal the answer later on in the segment.
Yeah.
So today's Exercise Your Knowledge question is, are you allowed to pull money from your retirement plan? So this will be something like a 401k, a TSP, a 403b, whatever your retirement plan is called, to purchase a new home.
Okay.
It's a good question, right?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Because we get this question pretty often.
Yeah,
we have
we do.
people who ask that question. We have people who don't know and don't even recognize that, or don't even think to give us that information because they don't know.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, there's been times, honestly, just alone, and I'm gonna try to, stop me if I go too far. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But there's,
I'm gonna have to get a stop sign.
Hold it up.
Hold it up.
Stop. When we're doing the evaluation of a person when it comes to their pre-approval, you're right. A lot of times, folks don't even present their retirement assets because those are important. I mean, sometimes just those assets alone could be the difference of you being able to be approved or not. You know, so just being able to know that is your money, right? And then you should also always present that because those are your assets whenever you're looking to purchase a home. I mean, that's something that's important.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So we will reveal that answer later on in the segment.
Yeah.
So today's topic is going to be all about condos. And
Okay.
what does that mean? What is a condo?
Mm-hmm.
I live in a condo.
Okay.
There's so many different types of condos. Like
Yeah.
if you came to my house, of course you wouldn't even think it was a condo. But I live in something called a detached condo. So when you come into my house, it looks like a single family dwelling. But the condo association has different amenities that they offer, and I pay a condo fee. So we just wanted to talk about, like, how does the condo fees affect your approval? What does it look like? And for the most part, when you're dealing with a condo, there's going to be some type of association fee or some type of condo fee. It may even be both.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I'm about to say, a lot of times I see both of them.
Yeah, nowadays you get both, you know. And those condo fees could definitely change your approval if you were previously pre-approved for something like a single-family home or a townhome or something that doesn't have any fee associated with it.
Yeah.
So you want to go into a little bit of details about that, Bryan?
Yeah. This is something I see quite often, actually, especially for my folks that are, let's say we pre-approve them and they're on their budget maybe is a little bit lower, right? So maybe they're above the average sales price here. So they're looking maybe in the $100,000 or $200,000 range.
Right.
A lot of times finding a condo, is a better route for those types of buyers, right?
Exactly. Or something that's attached.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like I said, or
Townhome,
townhome as
condo,
well. Yeah.
Anything that's attached to another dwelling and it's almost like apartment style.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that normally comes up in those situations is, let's give you an example of, let's say we have somebody that's pre-approved for $250,000, right? When we pre-approve you, we base it off of what your mortgage payment's going to be, right? And so we've discussed on previous episodes, your mortgage payment consists of your principal and interest, and also consists of the taxes, right? The property taxes that you're projected to pay, and then also your homeowner's insurance as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously, before you actually get a home under contract, we don't know exactly what property taxes are going to be, and we don't know exactly what homeowners insurance is going to be. We have that principal and interest at that time because we are basing it off the loan amount and whatever interest rates are at that time, but we don't have taxes and insurance, but we do create an estimate, and we normally try to estimate on the higher end, just so we're not having any surprises, when it comes to actually getting that real information once you start looking for those homes.
Yeah, and even if sometimes we may even ask for a specific address that you're interested in. And,
correct.
And that's something that we could potentially look up.
Yeah, and base it off.
Yeah. Try to get your estimate as close as possible.
Exactly. So when we pre-approve you, we're just factoring in those numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I mentioned to you, if we're pre-approving you, and let's say you're pre-approved for $250,000, that's just factoring in your mortgage payment, which consists of those things that we just talked about. Now, if you look at a condo, right? A condo is typically going to have some type of association dues, mm-hmm. right? And the association dues can cover a multitude of things. I'll let Sophia kind of chime in here in a little bit about some of those things that they can cover. But just for the example of the pre-approval process and how that is impacted, we're basing your mortgage payment that we're pre-approving you at $250. We're just basing it off, like I mentioned to you, off the principal and interest and tax and insurance. Mm-hmm. So if you have a condo fee, or if you're looking at a condo, that now is going to subtract what you're pre-approved for, right? Because let's say, for instance, at $250, your mortgage payment is projected to be $1,700 a month, right? And that's just your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. What's going to happen is, if you're going to the top of your budget and find a condo that's $250, and the condo has a $250 condo fee, you're now looking at a $1,950 payment, right? But you're only pre-approved at a $1,700 payment. So we're now going to have to try to subtract that dollar amount by $250 monthly to be able to, include that condo fee in there, right? Mm-hmm. And so, a lot of times, that's tens and tens of thousands of dollars that it now changes when it comes to how much you're approved for. Because ultimately, when it comes to the approval process, you pay your mortgage on a monthly basis, right? And we look at your debt to income, and that's going to really dictate how much you qualify for. So we're going to look at that mortgage payment monthly and really maximize, okay, hey, this is the amount of money that you can put out monthly to contribute to this mortgage / any type of association dues. So you just want to be mindful of that when it comes to, when you're looking at homes. I typically try to ask folks like, hey, are you considering a condo when it comes to the type of home that you're looking at?
Especially when that person is within a certain price range.
Correct, yeah. So I typically ask them like, hey, are you looking at a condo, or is that something that will be in your search? And if it is, then I'll try to give them the heads up like, well, hey, I'm going to pre-approve you based on, the raw mortgage that you're going to be paying. But if you're looking at condos, then it's going to be, we're going to have to take this number down because we have to factor in that condo fee when it comes to the approval amount.
That's correct. So earlier, Bryan mentioned that there are different things or amenities that can be included in those condo fees. So different things, like for me, for example, in my condo fees, it covers the road maintenance. So if there's any like bumps or cracks or anything that happens with the road in my community because it's private, then the condo fee will cover that. It covers water and sewage, it covers trash pickup, and it covers our fences. Okay. We have a dog park, and it'll cover like the maintenance of that and anything that happens in the community, like outside of the fence. It covers that. So like, I don't have to cut the grass in my front yard. I don't have to cut down trees or anything like that. But in my backyard, within the fence, that's what I have to cover. So fence out, they cover it. Fence in, that's me. Now, when it comes to the dwelling itself, I don't get any coverage from the condo. But in some cases, you may have different condo associations that will cover things like your roof. It may even go as far as covering flood insurance for walls out if that particular condo is in a flood zone.
Yeah.
There's different things that can be included in your condo association fees, which is like I said, the upkeep of the community. They can sometimes include things like your heat, your water, your cable bill, your internet, garbage, sewer, pool areas. So like I have a friend who lives in an association and they have a pool in their community. So the fees that they pay, it covers the maintenance for the pool. and different things like that. Now, it doesn't mean that when you find your particular condo that you're interested in, you're going to get all of these things in there included. Because if you did, ultimately your condo fee would be extremely high.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you do get a good majority of things that are included in there, and that's why you're paying that fee.
Yeah.
It helps, with the maintenance of the community, and then those condo fees kind of help with the rules and regulations of the condo, helps keep that community fairly neat, tidy, nice. You can't just do what you want to do, and you can't just have broken down cars in the in the driveway or on the street or anything like that when you're living in a community that has those different association fees.
Yeah. See, I have a condo. I don't live in one. I live in an HOA, so I do live in a community that we do pay a monthly HOA. Same, like you said, same.
Works the same way.
Yeah, almost the same way. Mm-hmm. It's a little not as strict, I would say, as your condos. Like for most of the time. I have a condo that that we have as a rental that, like, the front door has to be a certain color. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's a pool in the community, so we pay for that. There's a certain type of cable network that you have to use because the association has a contract with that particular cable company. Mm-hmm. And so they require you to use that particular network. Mm-hmm. So just depending upon condos, and a lot of times I've found just seeing condos have a little bit more of a stricter policy than an HOA, but it just all depends.
It really does.
It really all depends. I know another good thing that you want to make sure that you're aware of, and it's funny when you buy into a condo association, they give you this big old packet, has all these pages.
300 pages
yeah,
plus.
Man. Yeah, it has all the notes, everything that's ever happened within that association. But you do want to understand and know exactly what you can and can't do within that community and what's covered, as Sophia mentioned to you, because you want to make sure you have adequate insurance. And that's a big thing, like she mentioned, because some condos, some associations, they have what's called a master policy, where they have an insurance policy on the whole community, but you got to know what's covered in that master policy, because most of the time it's just like the outside, right, of your actual unit or all the units that are within that community. So it could be, the roof, like you said, it could be the siding, it could be the windows, it could be, a multitude of things, right? But you want to make sure that you have adequate insurance, and typically if they have a master policy within that community, you're required to get what's called an HO6 policy, which is called a walls in policy, which protects everything wall in the home. Now, you want to make sure you look into that, though, because you don't want to assume that your community, because it's a condo, that exactly. You don't want to assume that, hey, because there's an association due that I'm paying, that a portion of that is being contributed to pay for the insurance for the outside of the home, when in some cases that's not the case, right? Like you said, in your situation.
In my situation, I have a full HO3 policy. I cover everything, roof, siding. Now, I do have to abide by the laws of the HOA, so I can't change the color of my house without approval. Yeah. I can't have broken blinds. Yeah. I can't have my front yard with trash in it. Yeah. And, I can't have chip paint. Yep. My fascia boards have to be all clean, nice and pretty. I can't have, excessive leaves in my gutters, and it's like showing to the public. So anything that you can see from the street, the HOA could come in and take a look from the outside and say, you know what, that's a visibility issue, and you have to fix that. And they actually did that this past summer.
They did to you personally?
Yeah, they came and they said I needed to paint my, I don't even know what they're called, those pillars, like the
columns.
Columns, yeah. Okay. I had to paint my columns. I had to pressure wash my house, which I knew I had to do. But my husband was on deployment, so I was like, we're going to ride it out till they say something.
Thug it out.
We're going to thug it, right? I had to do those two things, and then they wanted me to move my basketball rim. They basically told me that every night I was supposed to take my basketball rim down by 9 p.m. and put it in the backyard. And I was like, yeah, you're going to have to find me because I ain't doing that. Because I put, like, the sand in, like, at Dick's, they have this jelly that you can put in the base of the basketball rim. And then when you put water in it, it basically makes the bottom like 600 pounds plus, so the rim doesn't move around.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you ever want to get rid of it, you just put table salt in it, and it dilutes resolves it. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm not about to do this every night. You think I'm going to go out here? I was like, who from the HOA is coming out here every night at 9 p.m. to see if I put my basketball hoop up? Yeah. Now, it's not the best thing to do, but you probably shouldn't do it, but I'll take the risk.
I hear you.
But, yeah, so, I mean, they have restrictions and, you know, different things. So, now, in addition to that, so does the lender. The lender has restrictions too. Yeah. So there's a whole approval, a condo approval process that the lender has to approve in order for you to obtain financing for that condo, particular condo association.
Yeah.
I've actually had this happen where I have a buyer right now who is in that price range where his approval amount is kind of in that $200,000 price range, and as of right now, he is only approved FHA. We cannot obtain conventional financing for him due to a couple of different reasons. He has been looking, and he's been finding properties that, you know, are within his budget, even including the association fee, but the association is not FHA approved. And so if the association is not FHA approved, then we can't approve the condo either if he's using that particular loan program. So it's definitely something that condos are something that they could be a guilty pleasure, because, I mean, there's different things that I don't have to worry about. Like, I was so happy that I didn't have to worry about cutting grass for real. I mean, my backyard can go as high as it wanted to while my husband was deployed, but
lucky you.
I don't have to go out.
Yeah, grass is a beast, man. Like,
it is.
Yeah. So I'll even jump in, like I said, because I don't live in a condo. I live in a single-family community, but we do have an HOA. And some of the, like you said, the thing I actually kind of like about an HOA, I know some people say, hey, they don't want to live in an HOA because some of the restrictions or whatever.
I like
it. And we have very limited restrictions, but I like it because for me, it's a certain standard that's set within the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So everyone takes pride in their yard, takes pride in the presentation of their home.
Yep.
And it just kind of gives you that, and it helps with the value of your home. If everyone is doing that, if everybody's on that same standard, that same level, then it does help with the value of home. Because it sucks when you're in a neighborhood and you ride around or you see a home that just kind of let itself go, and it just kind of makes, it's like a sour thumb. It sticks out.
You guys have seen it. I'm pretty sure you've rolled down, Princess Anne?
Yeah.
And you go down that street, and there's over there by
Misobi Cafe.
Misobi Cafe.
Yeah.
Down that street, is that Princess Anne?
Yeah, that's Princess Anne, and
there's quite a few little houses that are not, they're not bad looking, but then there's like one or two where they are OD with the junk in the yard.
Yeah, they just
and that would definitely piss me off if I had a neighbor who had like 5 cars in the driveway that don't work. They're rusted. They got all their kids' toys out in the front yard, but not all of them are in pieces. Then they got all this crap in the front. That would make me mad. And that type of stuff can bring the value down to the neighborhood, because when someone's looking to come into the neighborhood and purchase, they see that one house that can deter them away.
Correct. No, that's a very good point. And also, like you said, I mean, in this area, we always mention we have a very big VA presence, right? So a very big military presence, right? And so I had a situation not too long ago where, like you said, a person was and they were really wanting to buy a condo. Like, that was something that their primary focus was looking for a condo. And they were going to use their VA loan, right? Because they were VA eligible because they're active duty military and had served enough time. So, but the association that they were purchasing in was not doing VA financing. And so we had to do some research to figure out, because that was kind of a unique situation. That normally doesn't happen. I mean, there are, some communities that don't allow VA financing, but what I ended up finding out, which I thought was pretty unique here, was that the association in their bylaws, they don't allow you to rent out your home unless you've lived in the home as your primary residence for at least 3 years. Right. Oh. And so what happened is, in VA and military, a lot of times, you have to move around a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
You can so that kind of orders whenever.
Exactly. And so and with those bylaws, if you're in a situation where, let's say you were military and you purchased within that community, and let's say that you had to leave a year and a half, 2 years into you living in that home, but let's say you wanted to keep the home and rent it, right? It was a good investment. You wanted to keep the real estate. Within their bylaws, they say you can't do that. You would actually, in that situation, have to sell the home.
Yeah.
And so the VA frowned upon that, right? Because they felt like, the line of work that the military members are in, they shouldn't be restricted just because they have to move or, whatever. So they said, you know what, we're not going to allow any VA financing in that community. So it really wasn't the association that deterred people from being able to utilize their VA loan. It was the VA that said, hey, we're not going to give you basically any business. We're not going to give you any buyers in that neighborhood until you guys fix your bylaws. And so I thought that was actually a really unique situation that came across, where it could be, some different odd and end reasons of why, you're not able to get some type of financing in certain communities because of certain rules that are placed in within that association.
I've seen where the VA didn't approve a particular condo association because there was so many renters in the community. So, I mean, there's different reasons why. I mean, the condo approval is it's all about the risk.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
As you have communities that are more focused or driven towards investors, typically the rule of thumb is when you're living in a property, the likelihood of you paying the mortgage on the house that you live in is a lot higher than a house that you don't live in.
Correct.
And so I think that's where they're basing their decision.
Yeah, they try to restrict, for the amount or the percentage of the folks that own in that association for it to be fully investors, because investors, people who don't own it, they're not going to take the same type of pride in the home as well. So the different restrictions as we talked about as far as the upkeep and things of that nature, it's less likely for those things to be enforced or actually be sought out or be done.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also one other thing I wanted to mention too is flood insurance. That's another part, right? So we mentioned when it comes to the pre-approval process, we also want to take into account, obviously any association dues if you're looking at condos, or even if you're looking into communities that have homeowner association costs. We want to factor those in, because that could impact how much your pre-approval amount is, right? Or it could change how much your pre-approval amount is. Also, what could change is flood, right? So, it's good for us. I always try to have my buyer have a conversation. Like if I have them pre-approved and they're looking, I always say, hey, let's upfront find out if this home is in a flood zone. Now, us as a mortgage company, we do a flood search. So we'll look and see if it's in a flood zone, but sometimes that might be a little bit too late, right? You may already have the home under contract, and then if you find that out at that particular point, because that's when we find out, is once we get the actual contract from you. That's when we do our own research or look at it. But for me, I always tell my buyers, like, hey, up front, have your agent ask the listing agent about it, or do you do your own due diligence on it? Because sometimes flood insurance can be really expensive. I mean, it could be hundreds.
Depending on the elevation of your house.
Exactly. Depending on where you're located and how severe risk for flood your home is located in, that could change. So you could be pre-approved for a certain amount, and then once you factor in the flood insurance cost, that could now reduce how much you're qualified for. And so we're just trying to, basically throw out some things that could be pitfalls for you, right? Because, when you're buying a home, it's the experience and it's an emotional decision that you make. And we don't want you to, have you feel that you're pre-approved for a certain amount, and then you find something that you love, and then because of some of these factors of fees that, are not taken into account, that could negatively impact your pre-approval amount, and you may not be able to now qualify for that particular home. So we want to make sure that you understand this, make sure you have the information, so, you actually are crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's when it comes to the home buying process.
Exactly. And like Bryan said, you are approved for a certain amount, but ultimately you're approved for that payment.
Correct.
So anytime your payment is above what your approval amount is for, then that's when we need to take a second consideration and take a look at that, because we have to make sure that you are approved for the same payment amount, including any other fees that may be associated with the property, like your flood insurance, your condo fees, association fees, and different things like that.
Absolutely. That's good. Yeah. Well put.
All right, guys. So I hope that you learned a lot about condos today. I feel like we gave a lot of good information regarding condos and how those different things work, those different fees, and what can be covered in your condo association fees. But now it's time for the answer to exercise your knowledge. So earlier in the segment, we asked the question, are you allowed to pull money from your retirement plan? And your retirement plan could be something like your 401k, your TSP, your 403b, anything, whatever your employer calls it. If it's a retirement plan, can you use the funds from your retirement plan to purchase a new home? And, drum roll, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can definitely use those funds. However, we will tell you, yes, you can definitely use those funds, but it's still up to the retirement plan themselves.
Correct.
And how it works. So that's something that we can't check into for you. You have to call your retirement company. So whether it's Fidelity, Prudential, I mean, they have so many different, you have to figure out who yours is through. Or I'm pretty sure your employer has a portal where you can go in and take a look at your retirement plan and kind of pull some of that documentation.
Yeah.
And it should explain to you exactly what you can do for your new purchase. I've had it to where they say yes, but maybe they want a loan estimate from the lender to prove that you're buying a house.
Yep.
Maybe they'll allow you to get a break on maybe like paying, you still have to pay taxes, but you don't have to pay an early withdrawal fee.
There you go. Yep.
Or sometimes they'll allow you to take a loan out against your own money. I mean, there's different factors to how you can pull that money out, but you definitely want to check. Now, I recently had someone within the last 3 or 4 months who had a retirement, and I guess due to, the pandemic, they must have made some changes to the retirement plan, and they basically stopped all withdrawals from being able to come out of the retirement plan. So she wasn't able to do anything. In fact, her retirement was so strict that if she got fired and she didn't leave in good standing, that they could take back whatever they contributed. So just know what your retirement plan what it includes, how you can use that benefit. But yes, that is earned money that you have put into that retirement plan. That's your money. So you can use those funds to purchase a new home. You just want to double check, do your due diligence, call, find that information out. Now, as far as the lender, we're going to ask for that documentation to prove how much you can take out, because there's a certain percentage that you could take out. Usually it's the vested money that you put into there. They don't usually allow you to take out the money that they've contributed, they meaning your company. We'll ask for the documentation. We'll ask for proof of the liquidation. So we'll ask for a statement from the retirement plan. And then once that money actually hits your bank account, or if you receive a check in the mail and you deposit it, we'll ask for proof of it being deposited into your account. And then everything will be submitted to underwriting for a final approval to use those funds. But that's typically the process. Yes, you can pull money from your retirement. And the paperwork that you have for your retirement should give you more details on how that should happen.
That's right. Well put, man. You summed it. I ain't got nothing to say. You summed it all up. Yeah.
Finally. Yeah. Woo.
Oh.
I'm just
Finally. Man. Man, I tell you, new year. I've been getting all this new hate over here. Goodness gracious. Oh man. Okay. All right. I'll take it.
All right. So what we got coming up?
Coming up this weekend. Oh yeah, my son, he starts basketball. So this is his first time playing. Well, he's played soccer. He's played other sports before in the league. But, I'm kind of excited because...
This is the first time for basketball?
Yeah, it's his first time playing basketball.
It's my favorite sport.
It is your favorite? Okay, yeah. So, basketball is it's my second favorite behind football. Football is my favorite. But basketball was definitely something I was pretty good at growing up. Still am. Still got a little... I can still hoop, still get out there, do a little something with some of these young guys. But... You looked at me kind of crazy right there. Okay. But
I was going to say, just give me the definition of how young.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they get too young.
You can get
yeah.
out there with now and play.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know about these 21,
All
22,
right,
23,
man.
24,
Look,
25-year-olds.
man. Hey, I'm telling you, man, I'm nice. When you nice, man. It's like riding a bike, you know. But yeah, my son, he starts basketball. He has his first practice and meet and greet with his coach this Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I know just my dad, he was really athletic, good in sports. My sister was, I am. So I'm eager to see.
Y'all caught that, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all catch that? He said, I was.
Eager to see how my son does, because I know he has it in his genes. I know he has it in his blood. So I just want to see if it's something that he's actually interested in, or he just kind of goes through the motions with it. But I'm excited for him. Excited to see how he reacts to going out there and playing the game. And because at home we played a little bit, but actually being out there with some of his peers, his kids his age, and seeing how he does that. So I mean that's what we got going on. And also we're supposed to go to the movies to see Puss in Boots.
Okay.
That was something that we typically try to take the kids to do. A cinema cafe movie. They really like that whole experience of sitting there eating food and watching a movie on the big screen. So so I'm looking forward to that as well. There's a couple other movies that's come out. I was looking actually at this article of some movies that come out in 2023 that I want to check out. They got one movie, my second favorite actor, Leonardo DiCaprio, is coming out. It's based off a true story. It's like this mob movie based off like the 1920s. It comes out in May. I was reading up on that, so I'm really excited to see that. And this Martin Scorsese is the director. And normally when they come together, man, they've had classic movies together. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. But yeah, I love watching movies, man. I mean, I don't get to do it as often, but going and checking out a movie, or just even at home, watching a movie is something I enjoy doing. So I'm looking forward to those things.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
What about you?
For me, Maya has her first game this Sunday. So
okay.
For volleyball, so we'll be definitely doing that. Besides that, like I said earlier, we may go skating tonight. My cousin's coming in town. We don't really have any big plans. I kind of did.
Hold on, can you skate? Do you know how to skate?
Yeah, I can.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay, like four skates, like four-wheel skates.
I could do both.
You do both, and rollerblades.
I could rollerblade too.
Oh, okay.
So when I lived if I go, so for me, when I go to the skating ring, I like to wear skates. When I skate outside, I like to wear rollerblades.
Yeah, it's crazy. Same thing. Growing up, that's how it was. Like the skating ring, because when I was growing up, the skating ring was the place to be. Like around, you said your daughter just turned 14, so around that 12 to 14-year-old middle school, junior high age,
this was
like
the thing to do.
Every Friday night, you would go to the skating ring. That was kind of like the meetup place. And so I remember some of the kids, like, cause I had rollerblades too, like you just mentioned. I had rollerblades.
I did too.
I didn't have my own skates though. I had rollerblades. So I remember at the skating ring you can go and you can rent skates your size or whatever.
Yep.
And so I remember not a lot, but some, the kids thought it was cool. They would bring their rollerblades. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes the skating ring, depending on what was going on, they would forbid you from being able to use rollerblades because of what it does to the floor. Because sometimes they have like different colors and it kind of messes it up or whatever. But and also just for safety as well.
Yeah, because most people from my understanding, most people use their rollerblades outside. So typically, when you're outside rollerblading, your wheels get all jacked up, worn, and all that stuff. So when you come inside and you skate on that smooth floor, it can damage the floor. So that's why I always had that concept to where I use skates in the inside, just because of how skates, like you don't want your skates to get all rough and tough,
correct.
like the rollerblades. So I always would skate indoors, rollerblade. I mean, like I've actually rollerbladed in my neighborhood where I currently live, within the last few years. Now, I don't rollerblade as much just for time's sake, but that was like my go-to exercise when I lived in Florida. I would always rollerblade the boardwalk.
Oh, that's cool.
I got some crazy stories about rollerblading too.
For real, that makes me. I might have to try to go buy me some rollerblades, man. I haven't rollerblades since, it's been since I was young. You know what I'm saying? But skating, I like it, man. I even had this group I used to be a part of. We used to have an annual skating event to raise money for this foundation. And so this was probably like maybe 6-7 years ago was the last time that we did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like skating, man. Skating is it's cool, man. So yeah, hope if y'all do go, man, enjoy yourself.
Too. Like that's one of those things where you start sweating easy from skating.
But but see, let me ask this question, because there's different levels of skating. Can you skate? So when you say you skate, you can just, is it like you could just make sure you don't fall skate, or you saying you can like do a little something like if they got
I can
music
do a
going
little
on,
bounce,
a little bounce, little roll bounce on that joint, man.
I can skate backwards.
You can skate backwards?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now I'm not as so like because it's been so long since I haven't skated as often as I've rollerbladed.
Okay.
So I can skate backwards, but it's a lot slower than me skating forward facing,
Of
right?
course. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
But yeah, so like when I skate, I can't just stick skate. I'm rolling my. You know how this goes when you skate. If you a skater, you know.
Look at the hands.
You know what I'm talking
Hey,
about.
my folks is looking at YouTube. My folks look at YouTube. Look at her hands right now. Look what they doing, man. Look what they doing.
You know what I'm talking about. If you was a skater.
Oh,
and,
man.
What's those songs that came? What was the song?
Oh my goodness.
Shawty swing my way. You remember that?
With that tempo, yeah. Sure look good to me. So would you please swing my way?
Yes. So all those different skate songs, and you'll be in there.
Yo, I'm laughing at how you doing your hands right now, yo. That's so funny. That's so funny, man.
So it's been, I know I'm okay skater. I'm okay. Rollerblades, I'm pretty just regular because usually when I rollerblade for speed, for exercise.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. But
I might have to do that. Like I said, it's been some years, man. But I know the last time I skated, I had a good time. Like I said, I was, they had music going. It was cool. So I might have to.
I'm scared of though. I'm old now, so falling might not be.
That ain't gonna hurt a little bit longer, a little bit more than it used to be back in the day. You used to pop back out like nothing happened. Now I'm like, oh God, somebody help me, call the ambulance.
No, back in the day when we used to skate, you fall, you play it off
you
dancing.
Yeah. Hit the bank head bounce on the ground, or pop up like, that was a part of the job. Pop like it on the joint. That's funny, man.
That is hilarious. The rollerblade skate, hopefully we can get out tonight. Depends on if my cousin come in town.
That'd be dope.
That'd be pretty cool. All right, guys. So, every time we have a podcast, we definitely want to leave you guys with a positive note. So we do have a quote of the day.
Yeah.
I'll let you do the honors.
All right. So this quote says, "The only real mistake is the one from which you learn nothing." So that's then we've kind of talked about something similar to this before, but mistakes aren't mistakes if you're able to learn some lessons from them and be able to utilize that and equip you as you move forward in life. So just because the outcome isn't what you had initially had hoped for, you always got to assess what happened, what could have been better, what could have changed, what you've learned from that situation. And like I said, it's we call it paid tuition. I mean, it's you learn from it, you use it, moving forward, because those experiences, shape your decision making moving forward and help you as you progress through this thing called life. So, yeah.
Most definitely. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Well, that's all the time that we have for you guys today. Of course, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I almost said on IG. Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram and Facebook is skb_mortgage.
Mine, I just changed mine. It was B Roy Star for a while, man. I've had that since the first day I started my Instagram page.
New year, new you?
Yeah, new year, man. Switching it up, man. Told you, man. Resolution, goal, whatever. But my Instagram is...
There could be a New Year's resolution.
There you go, right? So my Instagram now is just Bryan_Royster, and it's spelled BRYAN_Roysters, ROYSTER. And my Facebook is Bryan Royster as well, just my first and last name. So,
we're going to have to make those match one day.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to our podcast, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.